through collaborations, not conflicts. The unique strength of India is that India serves as the vital bridge connecting the global south and the global north. After all, south or north, east or west, all of us have only one earth, one family, and one future. Today, at this summit, let us all pledge to transform this noble aspiration into reality using the most powerful gift of the human mind, AI. Let us combine intelligence with empathy and let us build a better future for all. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mukesh Dhirubhai Ambani, for your strong belief in India's capabilities and also for being at the forefront of India's AI revolution. Ladies and gentlemen, let's have a big round of applause for Mr. Ambani. And now I would like to invite Sir Damis Hassabis. He is the founder and CEO of Google DeepMind, the co-founder of Google DeepMind, and well, he is also the Nobel laureate, a chess prodigy, neuroscientist, and game designer before he became one of the world's leading artificial intelligence researchers. Sir Demis Hassabis brings an almost uniquely cross-disciplinary mind to the challenge of building artificial general intelligence. DeepMind's AlphaFold solved a 50-year-old problem in biology, and he's, well, just getting started. Please welcome the co-founder and CEO of Google DeepMind, Sir Hassabis.
Thank you. It's a huge honor to be here today with so many of my esteemed colleagues from industry, academia, and government. And congratulations to Prime Minister Modi and the Indian government on convening such an impressive summit at this very pivotal moment for AI. It's fantastic to see how the summit has evolved over the years, with the first meeting convened by Prime Minister Sunak at Bletchley Park in the UK. It's become an incredibly important convening point for international dialogue and hopefully cooperation in the future over the future of AI. When we started DeepMind in 2010, almost nobody was working on AI in industry. It was just a dream. And it's been incredible to see how in the last 15 years, where we've come from the beginnings, those humble beginnings, to now where we are today, where the whole world is talking about AI. The reason I spent my whole career working on AI is I always believed it would be one of the most important and beneficial technologies ever invented. And for me, my passion is to advance scientific discovery. And I always felt that AI would be the ultimate tool for accelerating scientific discovery and being a force multiplier for human ingenuity. From a very young age, I've been obsessed with the Greek questions of science, the nature of reality, the nature of consciousness, these deep mysteries that are in the universe. And I think AI can help us find answers to these questions that we've pondered over for thousands of years. We're already starting to see the beginnings of this with systems like AlphaFold that we built to solve the 50-year grand challenge of protein folding. And we hope that this will just be the first example of amazing advances in science and medicine that have been enabled by AI. And we and others are working on many other branches of science now to bring AI tools to help advance material science, fusion, physics, and mathematics. In fact, almost every branch of science and medicine can be impacted by AI. And now in 2026, we're another threshold moment where AGI, artificial general intelligence, is on the horizon, maybe within the next 5 years. And we're seeing these general purpose systems, foundational model systems, becoming increasingly capable almost week by week. So this is obviously an amazing opportunity that we should all grasp, economic and productivity, as well as in the sciences. But it's also something that we have to approach with humility and understanding that we don't have all the answers yet as to how this technology is going to develop and to be deployed into the world. I've been really impressed with what I've seen in India. I spent some time prior to the summit in Bangalore. We have a really big office there, Google and DeepMind, a great research office where we do some really critical research that we then bring to our products and our technologies around the world in areas like efficient models, continual learning, and multilingual capabilities. I also had time to give a talk at the Indian Institute of Science at Bangalore, and I was incredibly impressed by the students and the faculty there, their enthusiasm and their energy for AI, and their ideas for how to use AI to improve India standing in the world, and to also seize all the new economic opportunities and scientific opportunities that AI opens up. It was incredibly impressive to see the energy around the country. And I think that India will indeed be a powerhouse for AI across the globe. We have many partnerships. Sundar, you heard Sundar announce many Google partnerships that we have with India. I'm especially proud of our deep partnership with Mr. Ambani and the Reliance Jio group to bring intelligence to everyone in India with our Gemini foundation models in partnership with Reliance. So we hope to build on that in the next few years. So if I was to try and quantify what's coming down the line with the advent of AGI, I think it's going to be one of the most momentous periods in human history, probably something more like the advent of fire or electricity. One way maybe we can quantify that is, I think it's going to be something like 10 times the impact of the Industrial Revolution, but happening at 10 times the speed, probably unfolding in a matter of a decade rather than a century. So really, this is an enormous amount of change is going to come, and it's still to be written how we can make that beneficial for the whole world. And I think the main way we should try to do this is by taking a scientific approach, using the scientific method to understand what the capabilities of these systems are, to build good guardrails and monitoring systems, to understand more deeply what these systems are capable of, and how we can make sure that they serve the purposes that we want. And then, of course, simultaneously, we also have to be bold to grasp these new opportunities to advance science and medicine and to improve human health and the human condition that society and the globe badly needs. So I think we've got to try and navigate this moment very carefully, very thoughtfully. And if we do so, I'm very optimistic that we'll usher in a great new era. But of course, this can't just be left to technologists, and that's why summits like this are really important, to bring together all parts of society, the technologists that are building it, the scientists that are building it, governments and how to deploy it for the best use of their citizens, but also artists, social scientists, and philosophers. We need to bring all of these debates into the tent to understand how we should navigate this next period in human history. And I think summits like this, international summits like this, are critical to encourage this kind of international dialogue and cooperation. And if we get this right, these next steps right,
I think we can usher in a new golden era of scientific discovery and improve the lives and health of everyone in the world. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sir Hassabis, for your very profound and illuminating address. We really thank you. Sincere gratitude to your address. Ladies and gentlemen, and now I would like to invite Mr. Vishal Sikka. He's the founder and CEO of VNI. As CEO of Infosys, Vishal Sikka has led one of the most ambitious transformations in Indian IT history before leaving to build VNI, a company focused on human-centered artificial intelligence. He is a computer scientist by training, a philosopher by temperament. He is one of the most original thinkers of the intersection of AI and enterprise. Please welcome the founder and CEO of VNI, Mr. Vishal Sikka.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for that. Wow, wonderful introduction, and what an amazing event. I want to share 3 points from a long time that I have spent in AI. My first point is that what we see today in the world of AI, people who know what they are doing with AI, are astonishingly effective with AI. Recently, a friend of mine, he and I were students together at Stanford. He has a large service that he runs, open public service. That service was built by 15 people, very world-class engineers, over 9 months. Recently, he rebuilt that service entirely by himself in 14 days using one of the generative AI coding tools. So if you are counting, that is about a more than 250 times improvement in productivity. Now he's a genius and not everyone gets a 250 times productivity gain, but you will see that people who understand how to use AI are astonishingly effective with it. And I had a similar experience recently with a customer of mine who is a distributor of home goods, and one of their main suppliers shut down their factories in one of their countries. And they did analysis using our product, all kinds of simulation scenarios. And over a few days, they reached the decision that they need to exit that country entirely. I asked him, such a monumental decision to get out of an entire country, how long would that have taken you before? And he said easily it would have taken a year. And it would have involved heavy duty consultants and things like that. So we now have instant access to knowledge in any language, a condensation of things that we can present in any way. It is an incredible power. And yes, it is deeply disruptive to the ways that we have worked before, the way that we have done things in the past. But at the same time, and even more importantly, we can do unprecedented things with this, things that we could never do before. So this astonishing effectiveness, and Joshua referred to this as a jagged frontier, it is not uniform. Not everyone sees this. So that's my second point. Being effective with AI requires not only a knowledge of AI itself, but understanding its limitations and how to overcome those limitations. There is a huge gap between LLMs and the business users inside enterprises especially, and how to bring value to those users. And overcoming that gap is where a lot of value creating opportunity is. Bridging that gap requires delivering correct systems, trusted, verifiable, reliable systems that deliver value to people. My own company works in this area, a layer that sits above the language models and delivers value to business users while ensuring correctness and things like that. When we overcome that gap, we can deliver massive value. Mukesh Bhai talked about it just now. We can transform every existing system, legacy systems, enormous complexities inside enterprises can be removed, industries can be transformed. We can give end users wings, we can amplify them to deliver things that were not possible to do before, or in the best case, it required professionals to do this. Doing that also requires not just overcoming the limitations of AI, but also imagination to see what is not there, to see what is possible. India has all of this in great abundance. The Honorable Prime Minister has called for 1 billion entrepreneurs, people who can overcome these and deliver value using AI. And I think this is exactly what the world needs and what India has the potential for. My third point is that we not only have to master today's AI, but we have to leapfrog it. AI today has enormous limitations. I have worked in AI for the last 38 years. One of our scriptures is Bhaj Govindam. It was written by the Shankaracharya. And it has a beautiful line. Samprapte sannihite kale, nahi rakshati, dukrin karane. What it means is that when you are faced with a life or death situation, the knowledge of a book does not help you. Knowledge without wisdom does not save us. That wisdom comes from living, from doing, from being in the world. AI today has plenty of limitations. Joshua mentioned hallucination. That's one of the main issues blocking the use of AI in enterprises. But beyond hallucinations, understanding the world, understanding physical activities, um, the physical movement, this is one of the next frontiers. Safety of AI, and the Honorable Prime Minister talked about this today, is an existential issue. Swarms of agents can be made to do completely reckless things, and we don't yet have ways to understand or deal with this. And Joshua and Demis also talked about this. We have to solve this issue. We have to deliver AI that is safe. We have done this with nuclear power for the last 80 plus years. We can and we must do this with AI. Energy is another one of these issues. Where I live in California on Highway 101, just north of San Tomas, I drive by there every time I go to see my dad. There is a massive data center that is coming up. It's 720 megawatts. And this idea that I write a prompt and these gazillion GPUs blast into existence to produce a response, and then I make a tiny change to that prompt and then I do that again, it just seems like a completely absurd idea, especially to someone who has been around AI for such a long time. I have, thanks to the Ministry of IT, Honorable Ashwini Vaishnavji, I have a colleague who has been accompanying me throughout this conference, and he told me that yesterday he walked 32,000 steps. And I asked him, "What did you eat?" And he said, "I ate 2 burgers." Shubham, if you're here, 2 burgers. You know, we normally eat 2,000 calories in a day. That's about a 100-watt light bulb, like less than one of these light bulbs. And out of that, our brain, our nervous system is maybe 15, 20 watts. That's like when your laptop is in sleep mode, it takes more power than that. So there are many zeros still to be removed from these models, and the models themselves have to be removed. So I think that there is a tremendous opportunity here. India is a country of the human potential. We have plenty of times before delivered the ability to billion plus Indians. Mukesh bhai talked about Jio, and Sunil talked about Airtel, and how now we have billion plus Indians who have data and connectivity. And when I was young, one of my earliest childhood memories is of worry in my parents' faces around food. They used to tell stories of how there was a shortage of food. And then the Green Revolution happened, and India is now one of the largest exporters of food in one generation. So I think that when you look at the time of intelligence, it is not only an opportunity to learn about this technology, to learn to master this technology, to understand its limitations, but to leapfrog that and to build the next generation of it. And as this summit so vividly demonstrates, we can be on our way to a human revolution powered by AI, by good AI, by purposeful AI, where every one of us, a billion entrepreneurs, is not just making a living, but is making a life. Not some artificial life or some artificial general life, but our own life and the life of others. And that would be so much fun to do. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sika, for your profound and very interesting remarks. And of course, your work at VNI also exemplifies the transformative potential of artificial intelligence. And with this movement on the stage, you can make out that now we are heading into a fireside conversation. And well, this would be a remarkable conversation we're going to have with Mr. Nandan Nilekani, co-founder and chairman Infosys, and Dario Amodei, founder of Anthropic. And before I invite our guests on the stage, let me say a few words about Mr. Nandan Nilekani, who is the architect of Aadhaar, the world's largest biometric identity system, and the intellectual godfather of India's digital public infrastructure movement. Nandan Nilekani has spent decades proving that technology built in the public interest can transform entire societies, and Aadhaar is a big example before the world. His thinking on artificial intelligence and open digital ecosystems is essential reading for anyone serious about this field. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would now invite Mr. Nandan Nilekani and Mr. Dario Amodei for this conversation, which is being moderated by Mr. Rahul Mathan, partner Tri Legal. I invite all our three guests on the stage. Please welcome our guests on the stage. Thank you.
Dario, welcome, Dario. Great speech in the morning. You mentioned that we are in the end of or towards the end of the exponential. This is something that you spoke about in Machines of Loving Grace, that we would have a country of geniuses in a data center. And the models over the last, I guess, 2 months have been sort of giving us a sense that we're getting there. But in your podcast with Dwarkesh, you sort of walked that back a bit by saying, we may reach a country of geniuses in a data center, but the impact on society will take a long time. Can you explain what that means? Because we thought we'd do AGI and we would be finished and done with it.
Yeah, thank you for having us, Rahul. I would say there is this duality between the fundamental capabilities of the technology and the time that it takes for those capabilities to diffuse into the world, right? We're getting models that are very good at software engineering, that are increasingly good at, biomedical innovation. We're not there yet, but we're on this very fast exponential. But when I look across the world and I look across the enterprises of the world, we have many enterprises as customers. Even if we freezed in place what the technology was capable of today, I think the economic impact could be much greater than it is, because it just takes time. There are just frictions to adopt things through enterprises, and I think even more so in the developing world. And when I visited Infosys, one of the things I talked about with Nandan was we're both obviously very interested in making sure that this technology gets to everyone, and Nandan has devoted a big part of his life to many things in that direction, and has built out India's digital public infrastructure. And so I think this question of diffusion is very tied to the question of how do we make sure that everyone benefits.
So when the foundation models came, Nandan, you said that we should do use cases. And it sounds like Dario is saying the same thing, that even if we do the foundation model, we will still need to do use cases.
No, I think it's great what the foundations models are doing and the speed of evolution